Okay, welcome to a new episode of Nate's MMA Corner. I'm Nate, and if you watch my show, you're in my corner. Today's episode is another doubleheader, post-fight of the last UFC card and pre-fight with predictions of the next UFC card. So the last UFC card, UFC Fight Night, Surreal Gone versus Alexander Volkov, heavyweight clash, and then pre-fight for UFC 264. So let's get started, make this quick post-fight rundown. So to kick off the main card, in the last card we had a lightweight clash with Renato Moicano versus Jai Herbert. Moicano won, submission, rear naked choke, round 2. This was a fun fight, pretty interesting to see Moicano really get back on track with the win here and really start building some momentum up again, because I had high expectations for this guy early on, and he had a couple setbacks, but I think he's since learned from those and rebound. But anyways, then in the welterweight division we had Tim Means versus Nicholas Dalby. This was a back and forth fight. This fight could have gone either way on the judges' scorecards, but I think the judges got it right. Tim Means won 29-28 unanimous decision. Then in the featherweight division we had Andre Fili versus Daniel Pineda, no contest, accidental eye poke. But Daniel Pineda was losing this fight, and I think they should do a rematch, and Andre Fili may win that rematch, I could easily see. But yeah, Andre Fili was winning up until the eye poke, and then they had to call it off because Daniel Pineda's vision was just not as good as it. I mean, he couldn't give an accurate answer to the doctor, so it is what it is. But let's do a rematch. Then in the bantamweight division we had Timur Valiev defeat Hani Barsolas, and Timur Valiev won decision majority. This fight was probably my least favorite outside the main event on the whole main card, but this fight had some moments. Then we get into the co-main event in the heavyweight division, Tanner Boser versus Ovin St. Preux, OSP. Tanner Boser, I meant to say Boser, 1 KO punches round 2. This is pretty much how I thought this fight would play out. Then in the heavyweight division in the main event we had Surreal Gone versus defeat Alexander Volkov, decision unanimous. Did not see this coming. I thought Alexander Volkov was going to just steamroll through Surreal Gone. Surreal Gone is now, as many of you know, fighting for the interim heavyweight title with Derek Lewis. This main event was dreadfully boring. I hope Surreal Gone has more exciting fights. I kind of like the guy. He seems like a likable guy as a fan. But have I seen exciting fights from him the last couple fights? No. Has he had exciting fights before that? Yeah. Let's hope he gets back to those big, flashy finishes he's had in the past. Anyways, this was a stinker of a main event, but it is what it is. And that wraps up the post-fight. And so let's get into the pre-fight with predictions for UFC 264, Conor versus Poirier Part 3, the trilogy. So in the bantamweight division, to kick off the main card, we have Sean O'Malley versus newcomer Chris Moutinho. Hopefully I didn't butcher that name. I'm going to go with Sean O'Malley here, second round knockout. I think Sean O'Malley really wants to make a statement and really wants to make a point, and I think he can get it done here. The Marlon Vera fight, I think he learned a lot from that loss, and I think Sean O'Malley gets it done, second round knockout. Then in a catchweight bout at 139.5, because Irene Aldana missed weight, we have Irene Aldana versus Yana Kunitskaya. This is a very even matchup, a very good matchup. Unfortunately, Irene missed weight, so that goes against her purse, and also if she wins this fight, tarnishes that win in a sense. But I'm going to go with Irene Aldana here. I think her takedown defense will hold for the most part, and I think that her striking is going to be on point. And you know, she was able to go 5 rounds to Holly Holm standing, and yeah, she got outclassed, you know, virtually every round in a stand-up, but she you know, was able to hang in there and not get finished, and that there is something to be said for that for 5 rounds. Yana, great striker. This is going to be a strike fest delight, I can imagine. If we were to go to the ground, I could see Yana wanting to take this to the ground. She has underrated ground game. Yeah, I'm going to go at Irene Aldana here by decision. I think this stays standing and she wins on points. Then in the heavyweight division, we have Tai Tuvavasa versus Greg Hardy. This one, I'm going to pick Greg Hardy by decision. I think he keeps Tai at bay. And I don't see a finish because I could see Greg Hardy being a little hesitant to really steamroll in there because he doesn't want to get finished again. And I can see Tai being a little hesitant, not wanting to be knocked out by Greg Hardy like so many other people have. So I could see some hesitation on both sides, and I could see Greg Hardy just doing enough to squeak out the win. This fight, many may think this fight's going to be exciting. I think the Sean O'Malley fight might be more exciting because they'll have a finish. This may have a finish still, who knows? But I'll go with Greg Hardy by decision. Then in the welterweight division, the co-main event, we have Gilbert Burns versus Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. I'm going to go with Stephen Wonderboy Thompson here because, I mean, the way he looked against Jeff Neal, wow. And Gilbert Burns, great striker, heavy hands, but trying to land those heavy hands on Stephen Wonderboy Thompson is going to be a little tough. It can happen, but I think with the kickboxing expertise of Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and the takedown defense of Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, it's going to be a long night for Gilbert Burns. I could see Gilbert Burns lasting maybe one round, getting one good round in, and then the other two being dominated by Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. So I'll go with 29-28 unanimous decision, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Then we get into the main event in the lightweight division, the trilogy, Dustin the Diamond Poirier, former UFC interim lightweight champ, going up against the champ, former champ Conor, the notorious McGregor. And I'm going to go with Conor McGregor here. I'm going to say he's motivated. He knows what's at stake here. He wants to get this done. He needs to get this done. He's a competitor. People say, well, maybe he lost the drive because of the money. But I think the competitor in him wants to get this done. He's focused. And so a lot of people are counting Conor out. But I think Conor gets this win here because you look at it like he won the first fight. He won the first round of the second fight, and then he got knocked down the second round. And if he just made some adjustments, he could have won that second fight as well. He knows what he needs to do. His trainers probably watched that second fight time and time again. It's not like he's sitting there eating Cheetos, sitting on the couch not training. This guy been training hard. So is Dustin Poirier. But yeah, I'm going to go with Conor McGregor, and I'll say he gets a second round knockout. Maybe even a first. I think he's going to come in very aggressive. And I could see Dustin winning a decision, but I'm going to give Conor McGregor 51% chance of winning this fight because Dustin's he's been very active and he's been, looking fairly good. I mean, other than the Habib setback, he's looked amazing. So I'll give Conor a 51% chance of winning this fight. And if this goes to a decision, then I'm going to say Dustin would win a decision here, 3 or 4 rounds to 1 or 2, 3 rounds to 2 or 4 rounds to 1. I think Conor wants to get that finish, and he's going to be hungry for that finish, and he knows if he plays cards right, he can get that finish. And I don't see him going for a submission. I see him going for a knockout, so I'll go with Conor McGregor. First or second round knockout. There you have it. There's my predictions. Stay tuned for my post-fight show of this amazing card in the coming days. Until then, see ya.